What's going on, everybody? Here is a quick, dirty answer to a really good question, and that is, what's the difference between a single cutaway and a double cutaway guitar, or what even is that altogether? And the cutaway is right here next to the fretboard into the body of the guitar. And this guitar is an example of a single cutaway guitar. And then something like a Strat is a double cutaway guitar where they've cut into the body twice to give you access to the fretboard. And that is the dirty, quick, simple answer to that question. So if that's all you wanted, rock on. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that, stick around and we'll talk about it a little more. Here we have an example of a typical classical guitar, right? And you could consider this as zero cut, right? Because they have never cut into the body here by the fretboard, and it's cut like right at the 12th fret. So you really only have great access to the upper register of the guitar, and as soon as you get to the other register, you're reaching into it. And so the whole idea of cutting into the body was to get access into it. And the idea of not having a cut was to get the greatest tonal quality out of a guitar. And that's really important for an acoustic guitar, because everything's important, because it's kind of what makes the volume and the sound, and having the body connected to as much of the neck to get as much resonance as possible is the whole idea behind having a zero cut neck, a zero cut body. Here we have an example of what we might recognize as a Les Paul style shape. And it's an example of a single cutaway. So the body is still connecting up, even though, you know, the 12 frets here. And they've cut away a part of the body to give you great access to the whole fretboard of the guitar, to give you some playability across the entire scale of the fretboard. And other guitar, most common guitar that's also a single cutaway that I don't have an example right here is a Telecaster style, where they have the cutaway on the treble side, and then they have that round part. And this is ideally where you have access to the much more of the fretboard, and you're still trying to maintain a large contact to keep the resonance of the guitar and the tone of the guitar as good as possible. Lastly, you can probably guess where this is all going. Here we have the example of the double cut, and we've cut into the body twice, and it gives you access for your thumb to kind of follow in now with the fretboard, which bothered a couple other players. So this is giving you a lot of access for your entire hand to work and get your entire hand in here and play with the upper register of the fretboard. Your typical guitars that would be in this shape are your the Fender Stratocaster, all the Stratocaster styles, so the S-style guitars. And then PRS, you know, has a lot of lines where they have the double cutaway cut in, like their Core series has a lot of double cutaways, as does many other guitars that have this configuration. A couple factors that are a big deal is access, you know, getting access to the fretboard, with how much of your hand you want, and what might be some kind of tonal property. So if you were wondering what everybody was talking about, that was it. If you were wondering which one you should choose, like if there's one superior, in my own opinion, I think you should go with, first of all, if you can play the guitars to get a feel for it, just to feel the guitar in your hand, that is absolutely 100% superior, the best way to do it. If you're going to end up ordering it like the way the world is right now, I really think you should just go with what's cool to you, because there are so many other factors that go into how a guitar sounds, including whether the neck is a set neck or a through neck or a bolt-on neck, and what woods are made of, and what pickups you've chosen, and the guitar cable going to the pedal system you've picked in the amp, and you can see where that one's going now also. So as far as the shapes, I think you should just go with what's cool if you're trying to pick one. So there's a lot of even modern shapes out there, and they're often referred to as single cut and double cuts, but now that you know what you know, you can determine what they mean by that, even if the shape's radical. Now, I don't think this has a name for it in that sense, but there's also a lot of other modern shapes, right? flying V's, and, you know, they've just taken the body completely out of the way there. Explorers, Firebirds, you know, there's all sorts of shapes out there that are also really cool guitars to check out and get to know if you're looking for another guitar for sure. Thanks for checking my channel out. I hope we had a dirty, quick answer to really good questions. So until next time, later on, rock stars.